Which will make you more money as a busy small business owner? Either Claude as a large language model or ChatGPT that was sponsored by OpenAI. Hey there, my name is Kenner French with vastsolutionsgroup.com. I'm here to answer some questions. We have had a number of people email us with respect to which is the better large language model that can add value to you as a business owner, as a solopreneur. And then what I would say is the answer is it really depends, as a matter of fact, right? What consultant wouldn't say? It really depends. Claude was started by Anthropic, and Anthropic, a lot of people left OpenAI and decided to start their own large language model, and they just deemed it Claude. Now, at the same time, OpenAI, it's grown. It's the name of its model is ChatGPT. Everyone kind of knows, I would say more so, ChatGPT. Now, the biggest issue is, as a small business owner, is, well, which one's going to add more value, at the end of the day. Now, what I would say is Claude's a little bit cheaper. So if you're looking for, don't want to spend a bunch of money, probably Claude might make sense here as we speak in 2024. Same time, ChatGPT might have some uses. It's a little bit more, as far as a use case, it's a little bit more versatile. It's got image generation and a little bit more internet access, and again, going back to the point that Claude it's a little bit cheaper. So, it's nice in that regard. Now, the context window, where you type in your little information on the bottom where it says basically as what they call prompt, 200,000 tokens is what Claude will allow versus 32,000 tokens is what ChatGPT will allow. So the context window, the prompt window is huge in Claude, and that makes a lot of sense in some cases. Now, I don't know where you are, probably in the United States, 95, I think it's 95 languages are allowed or understood by ChatGPT versus, Claude. It's not nearly as many, and that could be an issue. Now, but again, most of you people are in the United States, probably speak English. But anyway, that's nice to think about the fact that ChatGPT owns a lot. Now, as we speak today, ChatGPT only costs $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, but for Claude, you can get it really a lot of things on their free version. And if you want their pro version, it's also $20. But that's the reason I say if you're looking for low cost, Claude probably makes a little bit more sense, as a matter of fact. And there's APIs that can be done by both, and really you can get really specific. So, what I would say is check the website to really learn which API kind of makes sense. But now let's go into the specifics. Now, really what matters at the end of the day is, well, how good is the information that's kicked out of both? Generally speaking, based on all the metrics, usually Claude, as we speak today, probably makes sense, right? So meaning if you look at the output really makes sense in Claude a little bit more so than ChatGPT. Now, some people might not really care about some little specifics of the output, but really that's, in my opinion, that's really what makes the most sense, is being able to, put in the prompts, have the prompts provide hopefully good prompts that you're providing, but at the end of the day, what's kicked out based on your prompts, and usually Claude GPT, based on a number of metrics, which we're going to talk about probably on another audio or video, probably makes the most sense, because the output, it's a little bit more clean, as I would say. Now, what I would also say at the end of the day is, well, what about the future? Now, Claude doesn't have as much money in their coffers, in their financing, as OpenAI or ChatGPT, and that can also matter at the end of the day. Meaning, if you want to hitch your wagon on one, maybe you can hitch your wagon on OpenAI's ChatGPT, because they have more money, which might fund bigger things, bigger projects down the road. Now, at the same time, Claude is, they're trying to gain steam, and there is some talk that they're going to get some big money behind them here in just a little bit. But if you only want to use one, if you're looking for one in the future, maybe ChatGPT makes sense. But at the same time, in my opinion, it really does not make sense to only use one. You should diversify. We haven't even talked about Gemini. Google's Gemini. That's also another player in the market. And by the way, AWS, Amazon, they have a good large language model that's getting some steam. And there's going to be Apple's large language model that's going to be using a lot of ChatGPT also. But for those two models, depending on the circumstance, which we've talked about, really in some cases it might make sense to use Claude's system more so than ChatGPT, but it really depends on the use case. But in general, I'm just going to say, based on the study here, I would say that look at Claude, because it probably might make sense in general. Now, we've been doing here at vastsolutionsgroup.com for years. We've been using, our own model called Einstein. It's not a large language model. It's a, AI model. Now, the cool thing is we've been using it for tax mitigation, for, running our business. We've been using it also, if you really think about it, for, for finance, hopefully helping our clients who are usually entrepreneurs, usually real estate investors, to, expand their business, expand their portfolio, lowering taxes, also hopefully making for a higher net worth. Now, these are going to change. All these systems are going to change. But what I would say is the best way to really know what to do as far as, AI, as far as LLMs, large language models, are to keep up to date. I know this sounds crazy. I'm going to say it though. I'm going to say sometimes I even say spend an hour a day on as a business owner on getting some resources together as far as, AI, large language models, because everything's going to change. And if you spend that hour investment, it's going to be worth it, because it's going to bring back dollars many times more than you're spending on that 1 hour. I don't care what your rate of return is, what your cash on cash rate of return is somewhere else. If you're spending an hour in AI, you're going to be better off. If you're not learning AI before everyone else does, if you're not using it, you're going to be lost. You are going to be lost. I'm not going to say you're going to lose your job, your business to AI, but potentially it's going to be someone else who's going to be taking over because they know how to use AI, large language models, better than the people who don't. If you have any questions about, AI, large language models, Claude, Gemini, AWS, the list goes on, get a hold of us. We can be reached at info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. That's our email, or check us out on the web at vastsolutionsgroup.com. We have a lot of resources as far as AI, as far as large language models, as far as Gemini, et cetera, et cetera. Our model, pretty good model. If you're using it to lower taxes as a solopreneur. My name is Kenneth French. Hopefully this has been of some value. And if it hasn't, go ahead and let me know. info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. We love getting information from anyone, whether a small business owner or individual investor, et cetera, et cetera. Once again, Kenneth French.